Hello, this is Miss Andrea. This week I'm just going to do a bit of a homeschool question and answer session. I've been coming across a great deal of homeschool questions lately, and I just thought I would share my best advice with you. So I'm going to be reading some of these questions and giving you my best advice. So here goes. What all do you need if you wish to register your kids back into public school? Do you test them to see where they are? They follow up saying, I have no plans to register them anytime soon or even at all, but if I would like to know my options. So basically they want to know what they need to do to make sure that their kids are pretty much able to walk back into a public school at the appropriate grade at any time. So I'm just going to go through some of the answers that were given to them. And so it definitely depends on your county. Some counties will want to test your children. Some states will want to test your children. Some will be like, let's go see, where they bounce. A lot of schools place them by age. I had a family friend whose child had homeschooled until age 14. They were at 10th grade level. The parent didn't keep good records. They went back to 9th grade. They put them in honors, but they went back to 9th grade. So, they were put in 9th grade according to everyone else their age, but they were put in the honors course. And it was very stringent. The kid didn't finish. They tapped out. So that happens, when a child feels punished and put back. Another person said that her county tested the children when she re-enrolled after 2 months. I'm curious as to why someone who homeschooled for 2 months and then put their kids back is still in the homeschool group. That blows my mind a little bit, but okay. So let's get my take on what you need to do if you wish to register your kids back into public school. Test your children. You need your own documentation, and you need to be able to back up whatever argument that you are going to have. So go online and get a national standardized exam that your child can take at home, and then you mail the answers back to them, and then they send you the score. So you will have a standardized score sheet to show the school as to where your child is, and will help you back up where you think your child should be placed. Please follow the test to the T. Please do not pamper your child through the test. Let your child just take the test, because you're not going to be able to sit next to your child in the classroom to help them along. Okay? Florida Learning Organization and a few other online standardized test people have the CAT, the California Achievement Test, and a few others that you can take in the leisure of your own home. Even if you never send your kid back to public school, I like the idea of taking this test every year for several reasons. One, I have found that if children never take a standardized test until they get to high school, it takes them a good year or two to get used to the idea. So putting them through a standardized test every year is very important regardless. So my answer is test them. Find out where they stand. Have your documentation, so when you march over to the school, you're ready with the information. Okay? Okay, I keep seeing this, and I don't think people understand, because people are used to getting public school for free, paid for by the government, right? So here's what people keep asking. I am looking for recommendations, preferably free, for online homeschooling with an actual teacher that can help when we need it. We've tried Time for Learning, and we also use another curriculum I've never heard of. We particularly need help in language arts. Y'all, you're homeschooling. You have told the state that you don't need them and you're going to homeschool on their own. Where are you going to get a free teacher? It's not going to happen. Set aside tutoring money, y'all. Set aside tutoring money. I want to see how people answer that, because that's just crazy pants. OutSchool, someone said there are free and discount classes on OutSchool, and certified teachers teach on this platform. Yeah, you have to pay them. You have to pay them. Varsity Teachers has many options too, both paid and free. If you only need a tiny bit of help, there are services online that have, I guess, financial backing. But if you want past a certain degree, you have to pay. Khan Academy is free and pre-recorded. And someone else said, you're not really going to find anything free. You can always hire a tutor for a small fee. If you don't want to use public school services, please do not expect that private school, because homeschool help, homeschool tutors, homeschool teachers, this is private school. You have to pay. I mean, this is why I'm not a working artist, because I am an artist, and people always want you to paint something for free. I'm not going to paint for free, and I'm not going to teach for free. It's not going to happen. Oh, that makes me so mad. Someone's asking for a highly rated music and art teacher to come through their home once a week. I did that. I paid them $40 an hour, FYI. And that was mostly for piano. The art, we had a program we went to for the art. So this is definitely 2021 version. Most definitely. Because we're dealing with a lot of people who pulled their kids out because of COVID. So this one says, my goal is to eventually re-enroll my daughter into public school. Does anyone know of any websites I can check for Common Core math for kindergarten level? It's kindergarten. What does it stinking matter? If you want Common Core, just use Khan Academy. It is on Common Core standards. Period. But they're in kindergarten. They should be able to count and add. Maybe add. Come on. Okay, January 15th. The year of COVID. Part 2. Anyone meeting up these days for homeschool activities? I have a 6-year-old boy doing first grade homeschool and a 4-year-old doing preschool homeschool. They are missing social interaction. If anyone with kids these ages is meeting up, I'd love to join. Don't do it. Do not flipping do it, y'all. Someone else is like, I have a 6-year-old boy. Let's put them together and share germs. Someone gave them info to a homeschool group. Someone said, I have not. Thank you. There are meetups all over the place. Okay. Let me tell you this. I have a homeschool program. And I have one family who's extremely active. And they managed to ditch COVID to date until last week. The whole family came down with COVID at the same time. And my best guess is it was a wedding they attended. COVID is worse now than it ever was. Could y'all just sit on your kids? Why don't y'all get some board games and play with your kids for a while? If you could, what would you change about the way you are currently homeschooling? I can't answer that question because I am not currently homeschooling my own children. But I have spoken to my own kids over the years about what I would change about the way we homeschooled. And they're both of the mindset that they should have dual enrolled in college starting in 10th grade. Now, dual enrollment in college in my area didn't really start until the year my son graduated and my daughter was a junior. But dual enrollment would have let them get some of those Common Core classes out of the way and made them more comfortable with the college process. So that's what I think. Good morning, everyone. I hope you are well. I have a kindergartner who I have been homeschooling since August. My question is there an end of the year checklist to see if we have covered everything that is needed to move on to first grade? Yes. Wait, let me see how people answered before I go looking up stuff. Yeah, they just gave them the Georgia Standards list. Yeah, people ask questions that can easily be Googled, like for reals. There's a book called What Your Blank Grader Needs to Know. And in her case, it would be What Your Kindergartner Needs to Know. And it's a whole book. It has all the standards. It has a full checklist. And then it has like all the fairy tales and stories and rhymes and everything that a child would be exposed to in a Common Core school. So that's my recommendation. What your kindergartner, first grade, second grade, I think it goes through 6th grade, needs to know. Let's do one more. Someone asked about my favorite new book from this year. They said, what do you think about it? It's great. And I answered them. Basically, it's notes and tests. So you can discuss the topics. Y'all can research through the topics, following the notes. You'll know everything you need to research. And teach your kid to teach themselves by just researching with them. And then at the end of the chapter, you take a test. Ba-dum-bum. I think it's wonderful. Oh, and someone said Teachers Pay Teachers have made lessons plans to go with this book. So I'm going to be checking that out myself. That's awesome sauce. I'm getting a lot about kids going back to school and assessments, because I knew that everyone pulling their kids out was going to tap out quick, fast, and in a hurry. Quick, fast, and in a hurry. There's something called homeschooling pods. And I think I know what it is, but it's super new to me. Does anyone know about the homeschooling pods in the Atlanta area? So what's happening with these pods is public school parents who have to work are getting together in families of 2 to 4 families, and they're creating these pods. And they all drop the kids off at one person's house and everyone else goes to work. Someone said the Dreamer School is meeting on Tuesdays in Beaufort. Someone is saying, ask Black homeschoolers of Atlanta, also Atlanta area homeschoolers. They're naming a bunch of homeschool groups you can ask. Someone has a pod of 3 at their home. What are your hours and fees? $6.50 a month, and whatever hours you choose, Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. So basically what's happening is a lot of independent homeschool parents, or I don't know, retired teachers or whatever, have chosen to make their home a place where just a small number of homeschool families can meet. Usually 2 families, 3 families max, sometimes 4. And, you drop your kid off there, you go about your life, and this family homeschools your kid. Yeah, I don't really have a problem with it. But as soon as schools open, the pods are going to fall apart, and the person who put aside their own career to run these pods is going to be without. If they were already homeschooling, then they're just going to go back to normal. But I guess they will have made some money in the meanwhile. When I was homeschooling, many people asked me to let them drop their kids off and have me homeschool them as well. And I've made videos about this. My answer was always absolutely not. Because when you're teaching someone else's kids, in addition to your own, you're no longer homeschooling, you're running a private school. And so your kid is getting a very small private school experience and not a true homeschool experience because you lose the spontaneity. However, in these COVID times, if it works, it's great. So those are the types of homeschool questions we're seeing this year. It is January 2021. This is not normal homeschooling. This is not normal homeschooling. No one is really homeschooling right now. Everyone is actually COVID schooling. So, yeah, if you're curious about what homeschoolers are worried about right now, or what temporary homeschoolers are worried about right now, this is it. I literally have seen no questions from like full-time homeschoolers. Maybe here and there someone says, hey, we're sick of this curriculum. What you got? But and in my state, I'm seeing also, hey, I live in another state and my husband or I'm getting transferred in my job to your state. Tell me a good place to live for homeschoolers and tell me what, the rules are there. But yeah, this is not your typical homeschooling board anymore. So that's all I have for today. Until next time.